Hi everyone, it's Brenda Quintana here. As promised, I'm doing a recording of this cool fancy fold card that I figured out for you. I have done a triple easel card before, but I've never done one before with these arches. This is a very cool card. I'm going to call it the triple easel arch card. It consists of three arches that you push back, and then it creates this cool card. Each of these arches folds down. Then I'll show it to you again when I have it flat because it's easier to do. And then it folds down like this. And I made it using the Everyday Arches bundle. You'll need a set of these nesting arches, and it's beautiful to decorate it up with the Everyday with the Everyday Arches bundle, because we've got these cool arched greetings that you can create, that you can stamp on each of the layers. So I'm going to show you how to make this from start to finish. And if you are one of my email list subscribers, you will be getting a project sheet for this card in your inbox on Saturday. So if you're not already a subscriber and you want this project sheet, make sure you subscribe to my email list. The link is down below in the description of the video. And it's a free email list. And on Saturday, you will get this project sheet. And when you sign up, you should be getting a welcome email from me that will give you access to past project sheets as well. So look for that in your inbox. This set of this bundle is also part of our sweet sale. Our sweets and our sweet products are all on sale. Buy one, get one 50% off. The 50% off is on the lowest price sweet product in your order, and you can do as many multiples as you want, but it will always take it off the lowest price items in your order, so you might need to shuffle your order accordingly. So this bundle and the paper we'll be using today, called Everyday Skies, it's part of the same suite. So you can also add this to your, if you add the bundle and the paper to your order, you'll get the paper for 50% off. Maybe you have a different bundle from a different suite you want to order, or maybe you want to order the whole suite, then you can do that, and maybe pick another suite to put in your order to get 50% off on. It's been a very popular promotion this month. It's running all June. Just keep in mind, as June progresses, some of our suites may sell out because one of the products in the suite might sell out. So remember, you can still go in, and if the bundle is still available, you can add the bundle to your order, and then get everything else piecemeal separately that's still available. So I also made this card with a different paper. This one is paper in the annual catalog, and this paper is called the Beautiful Gallery paper. So you can do this with whatever paper you want, and the result is just beautiful. The arches just make it just really cool. So I think we'll just get started. Remember, when you place an order with me that is $20 or more, you're going to be able to choose one of my free paid tutorials. And from Stampin' Up, if your order is $20 or more, you're going to earn Stampin' Rewards. You need to be opted into the program, though. So when you're checking out, if you don't see rewards listed in your section, like you will be earning this much rewards, then you probably are not opted in. So you need to go under the menu under your name and click on it and add rewards to your profile so that you can earn 10% back on all your orders. The rewards from Stampin' Up, they don't expire for a full year, so you can save them up to buy something big, or you can use them on your very next order. They're very flexible, and that program is also free. All right, I would love to show you how to make this card. So let's dig in and let's get started. Need to turn on my other camera first though. That would help a lot. Let's see if it picks it up. I'm gonna plug it in and out again. That also sometimes helps. There we go. Couldn't have it too perfect, right? Okay, so this is an example of one of the cards when it's flat, and this is how it is when it's nested up. So to fold it, you just fold back each of these like this, and then when you're opening it up, you take that first one and you tuck it, and tuck it, and tuck it. There is a trick with this card that you will need to know when you're gluing these arches down, and I'll show you that in a moment. We need a little bit of a lip for each of these arches to sit behind, so we need to lift up the top of the arches in order to do that. So I just place them down like that. And I used a very flat embellishment right here. I did start off with a bumpier embellishment, but because this heart here is on a dimensional, that can create quite a bit of bulk. So if you can find a flat embellishment for right there, or maybe just leave that embellishment out. We are going to be making the card today. I'm just going to pop these aside for a moment. We're going to be making the card with a different paper from the paper collection. This paper collection, Everyday Skies, the very first paper I used was this one, and I thought we would use one more of the papers out of here so you can see how to build that. We also need to create, first thing we need to do is score some pieces. We need to create this arched foldy piece. I'm just going to kind of lay it out like that so you can see it's an arch with another arch connected and a folded area. We need to score some of those pieces. So that's what we're going to do first. So I'm going to bring in my scoring tool, and I might write the instructions a little bit differently, but because I don't want to go back and forth and score each piece separately at each point, I'm going to do all my scoring first, and then we're going to do all the die cutting. Okay, so the first piece, the base of the arch is just cut with a large arch, so we don't need to score that one. But the very first, the biggest easel piece, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 8 3/4 by 3 3/8. We're going to put the long side up at the top and score this piece at 2 1/8 and 4 3/8. Okay, that's the largest easel. Then the second largest easel, the medium easel, is 6 3/4 by 2 3/8. We're going to put the long side, the 6 3/4 inch side, up at the top, and we're going to score this one at 1 5/8 and 3 3/8. Okay, and then the last easel, the small arch, this one's going to be 4 3/4 by 1 3/8. Put the long side up at the top and score at 1 1/8 and 2 3/8. Okay, so we have these 3 pieces, and they each have 2 score lines on them. All right. so let's take a look at the arches that we're going to use. So for the base of my card, I'm just doing a flat arch that doesn't open. So this is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece. We're going to take our largest arch, and that's going to cut that piece. Next off, I'm going to measure these because I want to make sure that we have them accurate. So the next arch we need is the 3 1/4 inch arch. So I believe it's this one. So the third largest, and that's 3. I'm measuring it across the bottom. It's 3 1/4. So that one is going to go with this one. And then the next one, we're going to skip 2 and go to the next one. And this one measures 2 1/4 along the bottom. That one is going to go with this piece. I'm just going to stack that up. And then this last one here, we're going to skip 2 again and go with this one. And this one measures 1 3/8 inches across. Okay, so those are the arches we're going to use, and I'm going to put this away right now so I don't mess up anything. And the other thing we're going to need is this piece of paper, and I'm going to show you right now how I want to cut this piece. So I want to have this one, the largest arch, we're only going to use it once, but these 3 arches, we need to create 3 different arches out of this paper. So I kind of look at my piece and I decide where I want the arches to be. So this one right here is going to be the one that has the most blue on it. The second piece, the middle piece, says "You are a ray of sunshine." So I kind of want a lot of orange on that piece. So I'm going to come up here and cut like this. And then the other piece, I might go down here and cut down here, and that's going to be the piece for the birds. So you kind of can just arrange. I usually just use one piece of the same designer series paper, and I just arrange the arches on there. You could run all of these through at the same time, but depending on where you want to place your pieces, you might not do it all at the same time when you're running it through. Okay, so remember, these are the 3 arches, the same sizes that we're going to use for these papers, the ones that I just pulled out. So they're the exact same sizes. Let's go grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Just stick this over to the side here. And we'll grab our bottom piece, a platform, our thin die adapter, a clear plate, and we'll put that on the bottom. Let's see if we can do all these at the same time. Just have to make sure this is 6 inches wide, so we just have to kind of make sure that everything is aligned properly. You don't have to run them through at the same time. In fact, it might be easier if you didn't do it, but in the interest of time, let's see if we can do all 3 at the same time. I'm cranking over here on the side. Can't see that, but that's what I'm doing. All right. So there's the largest arch aside from the one that's going to be our base. The middle one, these are all the pieces we're going to be using for the easel. So we've got these 3 pieces. We can save this aside so we can grab some of this for the end. And next, we're going to do these pieces. Now, I probably should have folded this while I had some counter surface. But for this piece, you're going to fold it just along this middle score line. Ignore this score line for now. Just going to fold it. And on a flat work surface, you're going to want to burnish it with a bone folder. You want it to lay as flat as possible. I'm going to bring this back over here. This is for these 3 arches here, not the largest arch that we pulled, but this should fit on here like this. You want the bottom of the arch right along the opening of here, and the top part of the arch is going to be just inside this curved part of the fold. We are going to be creating, this is going to stay connected up top here. So I've cut these exactly how big you need them to create the perfect arch for the project. So make sure it's centered, and then make sure this is right along the edge here. Okay, now I'm going to take this and put this on top. It shifted a little bit, so I'm going to fix it. Okay. You want to make sure there's a little gap right there. You can't see it right now, but the cardstock, the fold is just on the inside of the arch. The angle on this is not, I don't know if you can see it now. You can probably see a little tiny gap in between. That's what you want. And now we're going to run this through. So this is what you want. This has been flattened together, so it's going to take a moment for it to open. Oh, come on. It really got smushed together. Okay, here we go. And they're stitching, so it wants to stitch together too. But now we have this fold here up at the top, and this is what it looks like. And you still have a score line right here that's been obliterated a bit by your die cutting, but it's still there. We'll deal with that in a second. Okay, that's the largest easel. And now we're going to do the next one, which is this petal pink one. I changed up the colors a little bit from my original card just to suit the paper a little better. And then we're going to take this next arch, and you'll realize you have the right arch when it almost fits exactly onto your piece, except for that little gap up at the top. If it's not fitting the sides of these exactly, then you probably have the wrong arch, okay? So we're going to just do that. Remember, always hope I put this in the right way. The opening is always at the bottom. Okay, so when you're running this through, you want to have the fold near the top. And so that's what it looks like. And then we have just one more to do. Okay. Actually, I lied. We have one more easel to do, and then we have just the plain big arch. So this one, again, we're going to fold it in half along the score line. Burnish this down so it stays flat. And then we're going to take our smallest arch that we pulled, and it's going to fit on there. The flat end of the arch goes towards the opening. And then we're going to just a teeny tiny bit. Okay. Let's roll this through. Okay. Throw that out, and we're going to open this up. My machine is really tight, so it really likes to squish those two pieces together, okay? So we have another arch with the fold up at the top. And then I believe we just have one more thing to die cut, and this is the base of your card using that largest arch. And this time we are just going to, there's no fold, just as long as the arch is on this piece somewhere, it will be good. It doesn't need to be centered or anything. I'll run this through. And this is going to be the base of our card. All right. I think all of our die cutting is done now. That takes just a moment, but it is so worthwhile for your card. So let's take a look at all the pieces. So okay, those are the pieces for our card. And we're going to, let's stamp on these Designer Series paper pieces first. I'm going to use a lighter color blue for my stamping this time because even though a darker color might show up better, I thought the softer blue would look nicer. So we're going to use Azure Afternoon. And just so you know what colors I use, because I think I forgot to tell you, the base is Azure Afternoon. The largest easel is Balmy Blue. The middle easel is Petal Pink, and the smallest one is back to Azure Afternoon. We're going to use, this is, says you are simply fantastic. So we're going to ink this up. Make sure you get all the letters inked up. And we're going to just kind of line this up, but I think that did not get inked up well. Okay, so then we're just going to kind of line this up near the top. Okay, I think I like that color blue with this blue base. Then we're going to take this one, and you could do this absolutely in an orangey color. There's Cajun Craze in that paper or Calypso Coral, but I think blue is going to show up just a little bit better. So we're going to add this on here into You Are a Ray of Sunshine. I think that also looks nice. And then finally, we're going to do these little birds right here that are kind of swooping. Kind of see where I stuck these ones. These ones are kind of going up like this. All right. Okay, so now we need to assemble our card. And we're going to start with this piece first. We need to fold this piece back. Remember that extra score line? Let's fold this one back. We're going to glue this piece onto here. If you wanted your pieces to be sturdier, you could cut just an extra arch in the same size and glue it behind here. I want to keep my card less bulky, so I'm not going to stabilize the back of this. I think it still is strong enough though. So it's just up to you. I just put it out there. We're just going to put glue on this lower portion here. And then we're going to adhere this. Just make sure it's perfectly on the bottom of that card, because it needs to easel up, so you can't put any adhesive on right here. Okay, so for all of these, let's prep all of these pieces first, and then I'll show you how to add them to your card. So we're going to fold along that score line again. We're going to put glue on this lower portion and line this up. Okay, and then finally this one, put glue on this bottom rectangle. And line it up. Okay. So now we have the pieces prepped to go onto our base. There's just one more thing that we need to do, and this is arguably the most important part, and it's what keeps our easels from being, so you can tuck them in. So when I flip this over, I'm going to take a dimensional, and I'm going to put it near the top of the back right here. Maybe about, I want to say like about centered, maybe about 1/8 of an inch in, like that. And then we're going to put adhesive on this lower portion here. This will, like, this is going to kind of be lifted up, so you don't probably, putting adhesive here is not going to help us at all. We're going to take off that piece right here. And when we adhere this, you might wonder, why am I adhering this close to the bottom? It's because we need the space. If I were to center this, the arches would be really, really close together, and it wouldn't look as good. So like the spacing in between each arch, we need some space, and when you bring it down to the bottom, that's what gives us that space. So okay, actually I'm just realizing right now that this one, I don't think this bottom one, this one doesn't need a spacer. I just realized that, because this one we're not having to tuck in. So for the biggest arch, you don't need a dimensional. So I'm going to add some extra glue back there. It's for the next one that you need the spacer. With the, okay, so this next one, that's where you're going to do, for the next two, you're going to need these dimensionals. If you did it for the first one, just lift it up carefully and pull it up, and just remove it and put some glue behind there. Sorry about that. Let's get these prepped right away so I know what I'm doing. I'm going to put one right there, and I'm going to put one right here. Okay, so next, we don't want to glue this to the front. We want to open this up. Open it up like this, and we're going to glue it inside of the opening. Okay, so we'll put glue maybe about here. I'm going to put this one down here, center it on the bottom. Okay, so now this one will have a space to tuck behind right here because of that dimensional. Okay, now we need to open up this one, and we need to open up this one, okay, because we're always gluing to the inside. And we'll come along here, remove the backing. Okay. All right, so now we have these two have a place to tuck behind, but this one doesn't. right here. So we have to create something to tuck behind that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back with this paper here. And because this is blue here, I can contrast it with a little bit of this orange. And I'm going to use a punch for that. This this bee builder punch here has the wings also double as a heart. So we're just going to use that. I'm just going to punch that heart out of the corner. Will provide a nice little contrast. This heart I am going to back up because it needs to tuck, it needs to be solid. So I'm going to just punch an extra heart out of petal pink to glue behind it to give it a little bit more stability. So let's add a little glue here. And then let's glue these two pieces together. Let's move those out of the way. And we need one more dimensional. We'll take that and we'll just put it right in the center of the heart. And then with those other two tucked up, you're just going to kind of see, okay, that looks like a good spacing for this little heart right here. And so now this one has enough room to tuck behind it. Then the last thing you want to do, if you want to do this, is grab an embellishment. I don't have very many of these left, but these are called adhesive back dragonflies and birds. They are little tiny brass pieces. I'm not sure if they're made out of brass, but they're tiny and small. And so you can take one of these, they're very flat, and you can just add one right there. A flat embellishment might be the best thing because that way it doesn't bulk up right there, because there is a dimensional right there, and that is the bulkiest. So I can't tip this too far without the little things untucking, because they do need a little bit of gravity to stick. But if you remember to put the dimensional on the middle layer, the smallest layer and the middle layer, that is what is going to provide the lift that you need. Let me just turn this to its side a little bit. Okay, can you see here? There's a little lift here and a little lift here, and of course we have a little lift there on the heart. That is what your easels need in order to stay tucked. Without them, you're going to probably tuck them and they're probably going to fall flat really quickly. So you absolutely do need to remember to put those dimensionals in there. Then on the back, since this card doesn't open, on the back, let's tuck this down, you can create a space to write by cutting yourself another arch. So for this one, if you want to, you don't have to glue it down to the bottom to match the other ones. I would probably just go ahead and just center this one. Now for the size of this arch, I used the exact same size as I used for the largest easel, okay? And so I'm reusing those 4 arches. There's only 4 arches that I'm using to create this card. Let me just lay these out again so you can see them. I will absolutely put those measurements in the project sheet so that you know what sizes to use. Okay, and then when you're folding open the card, and you can decorate this even more if you want to. I kept mine fairly simple. The paper is really beautiful, and then you just go ahead and you tuck them one at a time behind each other, and then you get this card like that. And then let's pull out our other samples so you can see them. Oops. Put this aside. Let me put these together. This one's very vibrant, using a different paper from that same collection. But you can see how you can like mix and match papers. I'm just looking at this blue right now. I probably could have gone a little bit darker with the blue if I wanted to, but this is just a subtler version. It's still beautiful though. I just wanted to show how you can kind of do different ones. And then this one, I did use, for this one, I use Secret Sea ink instead of Night of Navy. Night of Navy and Secret Sea are very dark blues though. So you could just choose one or the other to use for the ink when you're doing the stamping. So here is this one. It just looks really cool when it's displayed. Here's this one. Really cool, huh? I just love the way they came out. And maybe, like, if you wanted to do this as a birthday card, this is just a suggestion. This set did not come with a birthday greeting, the Everyday Arches. But say you wanted to turn this into a birthday card, you could do, you are simply fantastic, you're a ray of sunshine. And if you have a birthday greeting, happy birthday there, let's stack. This will not stay up unless it's flat, of course, because we need gravity, but happy birthday, you could put that on this last one, and then that could make a very sweet and very spectacular happy birthday card if you wanted to do that. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that card. I think it's just such a beautiful, beautiful card. I did one several years ago that before my project sheet days. That was a heart one, and that one was also a really beautiful card. We don't have hearts right now. I haven't done one of those in such a long time, but it was very fun to design and put this together. So make sure you are on my email list so you can get that project sheet. If you have lasted this long and you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I come to you every week with new ideas, and so subscribe, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. That helps me get seen by other people, and I really appreciate that because it helps my small business. I will be back live next Friday and next Tuesday as well. I will be up in Canada this Friday watching our son's girlfriend graduate from college, and we're very excited to do that. So I will see you all next week. I hope you get a chance to make this card. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.